Alright, you guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have another update for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3, and this time around it's in regards to the CAC Awoken skills. Ever since the new trailer and additional gameplay footage dropped, we've been eating well. Stay tuned to the channel because we're going to be covering everything that you need to know in regards to the upcoming greatest Dragon Ball game of all time, also known as Xenoverse 3. So without further ado, please make sure to drop a like on today's video, turn on post notifications, subscribe if you're new around here. I'll greatly appreciate it, and let's jump straight into it. As we all know, Endakuba was one of the creators that got invited to the Summer Game Fest 2026 private Xenoverse 3 panel, where they were shown this preview, which is now available to the public. It's going to be that 8 minutes demo footage of the DBS Broly raid, and so far Xenoverse 3 seems extremely promising. I like the new engine that they created specifically for this game. It's not necessarily going to be the same exact one that they used for Xenoverse 1 and 2, hence why it took them 6 to 7 years of development time, but you can just tell graphics, art style, gameplay, mechanics, features, all that stuff seems seconds to none if you ask me. There are some changes to the actual Awoken skills, which we will break down in the second half of this video. It seems like they're going to be on a cooldown or a limiter and not necessarily going based off the key that you have. It's strange stuff. So apparently there's more footage that the creator saw, so more than just that 8-minute gameplay demo, such as CAC's Super Saiyan 3 transformation, but I suppose we'll see all this publicly later. Hopefully, man, because I want to see that gameplay footage as well. Endakuba was the original source to share the info in the first place, and his caption said, "Oh, and Super Saiyan CAC users, you get to experience this when transforming to Super Saiyan 3 in Xenoverse 3 2, showing a gif of Goku transforming into that state from the Daima anime. Now, I'm sure it's probably going to be similar to the first time transforming into Super Saiyan 3 in the original DBZ anime as well, because that part was somewhat similar, right? But just shortened down a little bit, where we can see the actual hair growing from his head. You know, he's just locked in, focused up with that crazy facial expression, just screaming and powering up. The transformations, super attacks, ultimates, all that is going to be dynamic and extremely well made with the animations, because we've already seen a little bit of that in the actual trailer that dropped about a week ago. It's going to be a combination of the DBS Broly transformation with Goku's first time transformation over on planet Namek, right? Because when Vegeta transformed, I believe it was Vegeta in the DBS Broly movie, his hair glowed green first. So that's going to be the first half of the Super Saiyan transformation, and the second half is going to be going back to what we see right here with that epic idol stance. And Super Saiyan 3, more inspiration from Goku. They would use that one rather than the Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta transformation, just because it's more iconic for Goku. Now, I really want to know how the Super Saiyan 2 transformation is going to be like. If that's going to be something similar to Gohan's form, just because with that red bar of energy that went behind his head, it's definitely the most iconic Super Saiyan 2 transformation in the entire anime, if you ask me, because when Goku first do Super Saiyan 2, it was against the battle with Majin and Vegeta, how they both powered up. Now, don't get me wrong, still a cool stance and power up for the character and for our CACs, but Super Saiyan 2 Gohan's animation is definitely a lot superior. So I really want to know if they're going to be doing something similar to Xenoverse 2, where we have multiple Saiyan transformation lines. As we know, there's the Super Saiyan 1, 2, and 3 coming from Goku. There's the Super Vegeta 1 and 2 from Vegeta, Future Super Saiyan from both Future Trunks and Future Gohan, right? I feel like Super Saiyan 2, the animation, very well could be coming from Goku, just because Super Saiyan 1 is coming from Goku, Super Saiyan 3 is also coming from Goku, so it just makes sense for me. But that's not to say that we still won't be able to see a Super Saiyan 2 or even 1 cutscene from Gohan. You know what I mean? We very well could get another Gohan Super Saiyan transformation, since we already have different variants of Super Saiyan. The reason why I say that is because that animation from Gohan is too iconic to not have for your CAC. So I feel like if you want the Goku transformation cutscenes, train under Goku. If you want the Vegeta cutscenes and train under Vegeta, get his respective Saiyan abilities, so on and so forth, right? That's of course just speculation, don't know for sure. Or maybe the transformation animations could be mix match. So Super Saiyan 1 is the Planet Namek from Goku, Super Saiyan 3 of course from Goku again, and Super Saiyan 2 very well could be from Gohan, where it's all mix match under the same transformation line, if that makes any sense. We have even more details in regards to the Super Saiyan 3. Thanks to Shin for sharing. I got to see the SSJ3 transformation in Xenoverse 3 too. Yeah, it's beautiful. And yes, the hair moves with the aura. Now that's already top tier stuff, significantly better than Xenoverse 2. First and foremost, the animation to this one, not the best at all. It's just the generic quick power up. But again, since Xenoverse 3 is taking more of that dynamic route, we're going to see a lot more of the anime scenes in play. Now, going over to the hair physics, we've seen that in the trailer as well. When John 1000 used the Super Kaioken, you can see his hair flowing in the wind. Correct me down below if I'm wrong, but I don't necessarily recall there being hair physics in Xenoverse 2, except the only form that has hair physics would be Super Saiyan 3, but only the lower half of the hair. For example, when you walk around, run, the bottom part of it moves, but I don't think the top part moves. And when you stand still, there's no hair physics at all, like coming from the aura. According to Shin's post over here, we will get the hair physics just by standing around because of the pressure of that aura. So again, Xenoverse 3 is better in every way. I did this comparison video, Xenoverse 2 versus Xenoverse 3, and dude, in my personal opinion, Xenoverse 3 takes the cake with ease by a landslide. To each their own. If you prefer Xenoverse 2, then that's totally fine. Just know I'm going to be playing the heck out of this game when it does drop. So, cool confirmations for the actual Awoken skills. Now, we have some details in regards to how the transformations would actually work in the game. Big thanks to Kamen Rider for sharing. It seems that Super Saiyan is at least limited by time, but it's good to wait for new info. This is coming from the Gamer article. Big shout outs to them. And as we all know, at Summer Game Fest, a lot of different press media did have this one-on-one interview with the producer of the Xenoverse franchise, Hirano-san, and they individually got to ask their own questions. Again, more specifically about the transformations and the new feature, Soul Change. So we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. I've been seeing some commotion about this particular feature. Not everybody's on board with it, but just know that the Soul Change, where you literally transform from your CAC to the actual cast character, that is not required for your combat style whatsoever. If you don't like that, then you can just go with a standard Awoken skill, Potential Unleash, Kaioken, Super Saiyan, whatever they're going to be implementing for the game. So it's one or the other. I guess they are taking inspiration from the Breakers, where you literally just become the cast character. You get to use their combo strings, supers, all that stuff, right? So the article says, soul switching, technical difficulties, soul switching is one of Xenoverse 3's biggest additions, but transformations in general have been changed. One of the big new additions is a mechanic called soul switching, which lets our protagonists briefly transform into another character. So based off the actual gameplay footage, Jane 1000 transforms into Trunks, and there's a time limit of 41 seconds. So you have that specific amount of time to do as much damage as possible using their supers, ultimates, combo strings, which should be significantly stronger compared to the J1000 CAC, at least at their specific level during the gameplay showcase, which is level 40. In the case of this demo, our hero turned into future Trunks and was able to use all of his moves, including sword swings and his heat dome attack ultimates. Xenoverse places so much emphasis on custom characters that it's easy to forget its massive roster. Something that soul switching could completely sidestep by letting you treat other heroes and their abilities as a power-up. So that is something interesting to think about. Do you personally think the cast character, the roster, is going to be exclusive to this soul switching mechanic, meaning you necessarily can't pick any cast character right off the bat, like just play as them if you really wanted to, instead of the CAC? Or do you think we'll be safe and there's going to be this standard roster where we are allowed to pick the cast characters right off the bat? Let me know down your thoughts about that, because with this new mechanic, I could see there not being a roster, but at the end of the day, this is Dimps, right? They're aware of the ginormous roster and how much excitement that brings to the community. So I do truly feel like there will be a new character roster, in my personal opinion. We do have to wait for that reveal, however. Now, going down, it does say, if you're incredibly basic like me and are already planning to play as a Saiyan, you'll be interested to know that Super Saiyan transformations have seen some big changes as well. For starters, your hair finally changes and spikes up when you transform, with Super Saiyan 3 even getting a unique animation showing your hair growing out. So this person also got to see the Super Saiyan 3 transformation. Again, we haven't seen gameplay of that ourselves. It was more of that exclusive private event over at Summer Game Fest. But going over the basic stuff, the V-Jump scans confirmed it, the trailer confirmed it. Yeah, hair spike is finally a thing in the game, something that us fans have been asking for ever since the dawn of even Xenoverse 1, right? Because when you pick a standard haircut, that's your transformation hair as well. Your hair only changes with the Super Saiyan 3 Awoken skill and more of the recent DLC ones, such as the Beast Awoken. But even then, the Beast transformation changes your hairstyle to that of Beast Gohan's. It's not even distinct or unique to your specific CAC hair. You know what I mean? But with Xenoverse 3, they're going to be doing all of that, including the dynamic cutscenes, hair spike. There should, in theory, be a plethora of different transforming hairstyles, right? Because the CAC options, there's multiple base hairstyles, type 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to however many there's going to be, hopefully 50 plus. And with each one of those hairstyles, when you transform into Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3, they all should be different. You know what I mean? So that's going to be interesting to see. I'm sure some base hairstyles will probably share similar looks to the Super Saiyan 1 hair, maybe even Super Saiyan 2. Well, Super Saiyan 1 and 2, the same hair, because that's, you know, obvious. They look very identical, but you know what I mean. It may sound like a minor aesthetic change, but it's easily the most required Xenoverse feature out there and must have taken a lot of effort with all the hair options. So I'm really glad to see it. Yeah, same here. Everybody in the community is happy to see that. So moving forward, we do have another paragraph. What I'm slightly less sold on right now, so just know that this is his preference, points of view, his impressions witnessing the demo. Some people might like this new feature for the transformations. Moving on, it says, what they're less slightly sold on right now is that it looks like Super Saiyan is a timed transformation that needs to be earned instead of being usable whenever and kept going by charging ki. So Xenoverse 2, you have to have this certain amount of ki bars in order to transform. Super Saiyan 1 consumes 3 bars of ki, Super Saiyan 2, 4 bars of ki, Super Saiyan 3, 5 bars of ki, so on and so forth. And undergoing the said transformations, your ki will slightly deplete. And when your ki depletes 100% of the way, when you have 0, pretty much, you'll then revert to your base form. So you have to keep an eye on your ki gauge to stay in the transformation. And of course, other Awoken skills do consume a lot more ki than others. Super Saiyan Blue and God, they're the most heavy on the ki gauge. And you can create strategic builds to keep up your ki, something like an infinite ki source, if you will. Now, the Super Saiyan Awoken skill for CACs, something similar to the actual soul change mechanic where you become the cast character, we're going to have a time limit. Again, some people might not necessarily like this feature. Others may like it. Comment down below which side of things are you on. For me, I have to play the game and try it out because I do like the idea of you reverting to your base form at your own time, because you can revert to your base form. Your ki doesn't necessarily have to drain in order for you to revert. And also in Xenoverse 2, you can transform into it whenever you want, as long as you have the ki. So you can actually use that to your PvP gameplay style, because when you transform, you get super armor, and if the opponent is close enough, it will knock them back. So let's say you're attacking the opponent, they snap vanish, that's typically a good time to activate your transformation. More specifically, the transformations with the faster animations like Future Super Saiyan or Potential Unleash, maybe even Kaioken. Wait, no, I don't think Kaioken has that push back feature, but the other two do. Yeah, so you can just use that in your actual gameplay style. I'm not too sure about this one, if it's going to be that, cool in, implementing into it your actual gameplay, because you can't necessarily transform into it right off the bat. Whenever you do, there's a 41-second cooldown, right? So you can technically use it at the best time scenario whenever that may be the case. Again, haven't played Xenoverse 3, so don't know when that best time would be. But the gameplay that we've seen so far was the raid boss, right? Not necessarily PvP. Again, I do have to wait for more footage, or at least get my hands on the game to decide if I'm going to like this new feature. But so far, it doesn't necessarily bug me. Again, I do have faith in the actual company, DIMS, in making this game. It's more of that RPG style gameplay to it, very different, not necessarily the traditional Xenoverse 1 and Xenoverse 2 gameplay. Moving forward, it says, on the other hand, it makes sense since you really had no reason not to transform straight away. But it'll be a bit of a shame if you're not able to maintain it once transformed. Yeah, of course, this is just his impressions from a brief section of a hands-off preview, so there might be more to it than that. Again, we have to wait for a bit more details, correct? Going over here to Reach Out, this is something that I talked about before, but I mainly want to go over the transformations once again. Now, do take this one with a grain of salt, that's what the caption says, because this is the only news article or source to provide this information. But I wouldn't be surprised if they do enhance the transformations for all the older races. So the second sentence of the highlighted paragraph says, besides the new races, the previous 5 races are also getting deeper and expanded transformations. Male-female Majins, male-female Earthlings, male-female Saiyans, Namekians, and Frieza CACs. Apparently, they're going to be getting updates of some sorts. Now, what we currently have in Xenoverse 2, all CACs can transform into Kaioken, Original ×3 ×20, Potential Unleashed, Beast, and Ultra Instinct. Saiyans have their exclusive forms. 3 variants of Super Saiyan, Future, Vegeta, and the Goku transformation line, all with their own unique stats, of course. Super Saiyan God, Blue Evolved. And the other races will have their exclusive transformations as well, such as humans with Powerful Pro, become Giant Namekian, turn golden for Frieza's, and Purification for Majin. Again, I did talk a little bit about this before, but just to go a little bit more about what transformations we could see, shoutouts to Zayed for kind of just having fun with it and doing this checklist of what could end up in the actual game itself. So the first one, we have Saiyans. Now I'm going to add on to this list. I think it would be nice if they include the Uzaru transformation, since we know giant forms are a thing. Going back to the Namekians, they have their giant state. And plus, even in the actual recent trailer, we do see a giant Namekian in the background, like cooking food or something. He was like a chef. So getting the Uzaru form is not necessarily out of the question, considering we see one of the new original characters, Tap, with a Saiyan tail. And also in the same trailer, we do see this one incident of John 1000 wielding the sword, chopping off the Uzaru tail. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be the new Tap character, just because it is within the West City location. You can see it's dark in the background, so most likely a full moon is up in the sky. So that will be a cool addition. And even the Super Saiyan Rosé transformation, that could be pretty dang top tier. You know, more of the characters who want to roleplay as the sinister side of things, more evil CACs, I guess. I really wonder if they're going to be doing that, or if they're going to be forcing us to be the hero of the story. Wouldn't it be cool if you wanted to take the evil route instead, and then you unlock like Super Saiyan Rose that way? Oh, dude, that would be nice, right? And also full power Super Saiyan. I guess they could also throw in the legendary Super Saiyan from Z Broly. Those two could be different in a way. Now, Super Saiyan 4 is up on screen, as well as Ultra Instinct, but we'll talk about those soon because they actually went ahead and put those on the checklist. Super Saiyan 4, that is a must. If they don't include SSJ4 right off the bat, of course, we probably have to unlock it, which would be fun. But that would be a missed opportunity if you ask me. People wanted the Super Saiyan 4 transformation ever since Xenoverse 2, because I believe Xenoverse 1, it was just Super Saiyan 1 and 2. Correct me down below if I'm wrong. And then Xenoverse 2, that's when they included Super Saiyan 3. Now for Xenoverse 3, we need the next level, dude. Wouldn't that be cool to get Super Saiyan 4? Oh, and would you guys prefer SSJ4 to be its own standalone transformation? Like what they do with the Xenoverse 2 DLCs, Ultra Instinct, Beast, God, Blue Evolved, they're all separated. Or would you prefer Super Saiyan 4 to be an evolution of the Super Saiyan 1, 2, and 3 line? I feel like they could go about it both ways. Now, a Super Vegeta 3, that's actually something I talked about as well. I guess going back to the Super Saiyan 4. Oh yeah, the Daima variation. We could even get that alternate variation as well, you know? So why not both? I think having both would be cool. But going back to Xenoverse 2, we have that Super Vegeta line with 1 and 2. So they could also update that with Super Saiyan 3, or again, maybe a standalone transformation. Future Super Saiyan 2, an evolution of the already existing one, and then future Super Saiyan Rage. Now for the Earthlings, the 4 Witches technique coming from Tien, something that he displayed in original Dragon Ball, that one would be a great power-up, just because Earthlings, again, we don't have that many forms, only the Power Pole Pro. Which is funny because that's even more of a technique and not a transformation, so they could have these technique power-ups as actual Awoken skills, why not? The second one, Multiform technique, I feel like this could be more of an actual super attack or maybe ultimate, since the Xenoverse 3 gameplay style is more of that RPG elements. I can kind of see you activating this and spawning clones of yourself. Or yeah, a transformation as well. You activate your clones and you also get the power boost at the same time. The selfless states coming from Krillin. Ooh, I kind of forgot what this one did. I mean, obviously a power boost. Is this something similar to Potential Unleashed? Can't recall. Full power from original Dragon Ball, where you get that bulky physique, where you're able to output energy waves with ease. Of course, it will increase your stats. So great techniques or forms for the Earthlings. That will be on top of the Power Pole Pro that we already have. Namekians, the fusion. Ooh, yeah. He actually displayed the fusion technique 2 times. One on Planet Namek when he fused with Nail, and when he finally went back to his true form, combining with Kami, right? Now, this fusion, I could definitely see it more as a transformation, because it's not like the Potara earrings or even the Metamoran fusion dance by the Yardrats, because those two, you combine 2 warriors and create a new one. The Namekian fusion, it's kind of like you absorbing them, not necessarily absorbing, but you know what I mean? It's like you take their power, their knowledge, they're still alive within you, but you stay in your normal self, like no appearance change at all, physical wise. Ultimates, also known as Potential Unleashed from the DBS Broly movie, Orange and Giant Orange. I feel like these two are pretty dang obvious. These would have to be in Xenoverse 3 just because they're from the superhero movie and everybody knows about that. So if they're not in the game, everybody will just go on a riot. And plus, we already have that giant form for Namekians, so just slap on the orange and boom. Which it's been confirmed by Piccolo himself, the giant form is not necessarily a power increase, it's just a placebo facade. to trick the opponent. Red Eye Namekian. This is from Dragon Ball Online that also took place in Age 1000. So if they can just do this cool callback or homage to this Red Eye form, then that would be nice. So yeah, great selection for Namekians. Frieza CACs. Right now, when we create our Frieza CACs, we're in our first form, essentially. So having second, third, and fourth form would be nice with that full power transformation. Metal form from Cooler, specifically from the second movie. Ooh, yeah, that would be a cool thing there. I'll add 2 more forms on top of this Cooler one. The augmented transformation in the first Cooler movie, how he found another form beyond the quote-unquote final form, you know, at least during its time that Frieza transformed into. Yeah, Cooler got that next level. So that could be an additional transformation there. And you guys remember Metal Frieza when he just got completely obliterated by Future Trunks? I remember in Budokai 3, when Frieza went down, there's a specific capsule where he came back as Metal Frieza. So I guess that could go align with this Metal Cooler transformation, but having like metal parts for your CAC would be nice as well. Kind of like half cyborg, not necessarily cyborg, but yeah, the robot parts. True Golden, we already have that golden transformation, so why not the next level? You know, after he came back to the living world, he was still dead. You can see the halo in the image there, but it was just more of a pure evolution of the golden state. If I recall correctly, in the movie, he quickly just unlocked a new form and then battled Blue Goku and Vegeta, and then he was strong enough for the first half, but then he didn't necessarily retain the form. He got in significantly weaker throughout the battle. Yeah, this is just a more pure form of that. So I could see that being within the same golden transformation line, where the first one will be golden, and then the second one, true golden. Kind of top tier. Going over to the Majin race, we do have Super Majin, which is this from Dragon Ball Online? I'm trying to look at the image, and I don't recognize that image. So yeah, maybe a form from Online, something similar to the Red Eye Namekians. To be fair, in the Z anime, we had the pure evil Majin transformation. That could be another one. The Super Buu transformation, right? When he... Oh, wait, no. Super Buu... Oh, yeah. Because the Super Buu form was an evolution of the pure evil after he ate original Majin Buu. So they could kind of do something unique with the Majin race. I could see that happening. And absorption, that could be a very epic feature if they add absorption for Majins, right? I mean, they have to. That's like a major part of their tool set. Super Saiyan 3 slash Do form from the Daima. Yeah, Saiyan aesthetic power-ups. Why not? Include all the forms. Bandai, please, dimps. The Demon race, because of the new original character Rom from the trailers, the demon character. Demon God slash Supreme Kai. So the Glind CACs, because Supreme Kais, they're the Glinds. Demons, they're like the other characters such as Deborah, Mira, Toa. True form. Oh, that could be a callback because this is still the third installment of the Xenoverse franchise. So having the Demigra form will be a cool thing. The Makyoka form. More from Super Dragon Ball Heroes, I believe. Not 100% familiar with that, but cool addition. The Dark King slash Dark Factor Influence. Interesting. Androids. Augment's Hidden Weapon. Augment's Energy Absorption Model. Augment's Infinite Energy. Self-Destruction Model. Super Android. And Fusion Android. Isn't Super Android technically a fusion as well? Well, to be fair, it's fusion of the same character, while Fusion Android is him absorbing the parts of the other androids. So yeah, if androids and demon races are a thing, we definitely need to see some sort of transformation power-up. They can't be left in the dust if all the other forms will be getting their revamps and previous forms from the other games. Then yeah, this is a must. These are going to be the universal forms for every single character, not necessarily transformation exclusive to a specific race. Hero of Justice, in other words, Great Saiyan. UI sign, yep, we already have the silver hair Ultra Instinct. Formation, ooh, that's interesting, from Xenoverse 2, the Ribrianne, Rosie, and Kauza. God of Destruction, oh, that will be a plus. That would definitely be a great addition to the game. The God of Destruction technique. We've seen anyone can do it, technically. Vegeta, trained under Beerus. Topo, the next God of Destruction for his universe. Yeah, dude, that would probably be like one of the better ones for the universal transformations. Wall of Light. Interesting. Maybe you have to be a god for that one. I don't know. Well, half mortal, half divine. Fusion. Yep. Patara earrings, Metamorph Fusion Dance, both of them for all characters. Villainous, Power of Time, Unleashed, Ultra Superhero, Ultra Supervillain if they port that from Xenoverse 2. Yeah, same thing with Villainous if they port that one over. So yeah, very interesting stuff. If I didn't necessarily mention a transformation you would like to see, be sure to comment that down below. And yeah, just wanted to go over the hype, you know, with the new info that we got. Thanks to Endakuba for sharing. Dynamic transformations. Xenoverse 3 is going to be a great game. I'm looking forward to it. This is it for today's video. Thank you guys for the immense support as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace!